Hello, everyone, all OPAers and Shackley friends and leaders. It is so nice to be here with you tonight. I want to start by asking a question. Imagine that it's December 31st, 2025, and you have reached your desired goal. What would that look like? How would you feel? And what will you do with the extra money? For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Sarah Stauber, and here are some fun facts about me. My family's like a multi-level marketing business. We have 7 children, and with our grandchildren, we're having exponential growth. In the past, I've been working in the accounting divisions of many companies. I was a lifeguard, I was a doula, and now I'm a network marketer, and I love building my business. 6 of our children are married, God bless. Our youngest son is in rabbinical college, and instead of feeling like an empty nester, I take pride and joy in my Shackley business. I found Shackley in 1988, and we became master coordinators right after Roger purchased the company in 2004. On my agenda for tonight is we're going to talk about 3 topics, and one is learning how to think objectively, branding yourself by honing in on your target market, and creating a rhythm for your business that can create growth in 2025. So the reason I chose to talk about these 3 topics was because these are things that I did in the last couple of months, true and tried, and I feel that because I'm at it, it's not a theory, it's not hypothetical, it's just what I've been doing. I found it to be so intriguing for me that I decided to share this. And I felt that these 3 topics would help us finish 2024 with some good thoughts and prepare for 2025. So why did I choose to talk about how to think objectively? Well, first of all, maybe you're in your business and you're in a rut or you're on a standstill, like I was. I needed something different. I needed to learn new things. We have a new sales plan. We have a lot of new technology. Some people are opposed to it. Some people are going with it. And so we will need new thinking and better thinking in order to embrace this. Tonight, I'll be teaching you about the concept of branding yourself and your target market. And for many of you, this may be a new concept. And so we can only grow as much as our thoughts will allow us to. So therefore, we're going to start with talking about thinking objectively. Now, there are distinctions in thinking. You can have this kind of thought when you want to approach something or somebody with the right and wrong thinking versus what works and what doesn't. You can come to the table being judgmental or thinking while evaluating.
Sarah, can you advance to your slides? You're still on slide 3.
I'm advanced. I am in my all right, so you know what? Then I'm just gonna go through my panel.
Can Scott advance the slides for you?
No, I cannot. They're on her machine.
Okay.
We're on distinctions in thinking panel at the moment.
Okay. So we're distinctions in thinking panel. So certainty versus clarity and decisions versus choices. Now, when you look at the left column, the right and wrong thinking, the judgmental thinking, the certainty thinking, the decision thinking, those are usually negative, harsh, black and white. They're emotionally charged. They sound final, which means you don't have any other options. It's my way or the highway, which is not pleasant when you're talking to other people. It cuts you off from possibilities. You close yourself off from learning. You close yourself off from opportunities, and circumstances direct you. Whereas when you look at the right column thinking, like what works and what doesn't, when you're open to evaluation, when you're looking at clarity and at choices, it's more constructive. You get to evaluate. You get multiple answers. You see possibilities. You get to choose freely. You calm the emotions. You clearly think, you think clearly, and you gain clarity. It lets us get new information, and then we can question all the processes. We can question what works, what doesn't, and what can I do better. And I want to give you some examples about that. As leaders of our teams, we may feel that we have to be right and are quick to point out the weaknesses in teammates. I know I was like this in the beginning of my Shackley career, especially when we're used to doing something that works well for us. We think there is no other way or there's no better way. To be an effective leader, we need to understand our teammates and to be open to ideas, open to discussions of what works better, and to determine what works for the ambassador or the work at hand. Asking questions is much more effective. You will get better, you'll get to understand your people better and what's working for them. And I want to share an example here with you. This story goes back very many years ago, probably like maybe 20 years ago. I'm on Shackley for 36, so it could be 20 years ago, where a woman got referred to me. She came to my house. We sat down, we had a discussion. She walked out with a $500 order. Yes, we had inventory in those days, a large inventory. And she walked out with this large order, and then she referred her daughter to me. Now, when her daughter came, she came along. And so I had a discussion. Her daughter didn't talk too much, but she also purchased some products. And she told me that she wanted to start a business. And when I sort of started discussing with her the next steps to start a business, right? We were doing a lot of in-home events. So what's the next thing to do an in-home event is to set a date and to invite people. Well, what happened with her is she told me that she didn't want to do that. She just wanted to send out postcards to her friends and family to let them know that she started a Shackley business. Now, folks, honestly, you and me and all of us, does that work? Well, I knew it didn't work. I told her that that was not going to work. And that was that. I got to talk to her mother. I don't remember how much later. And she said, you know what? This business is not for my daughter. My daughter stutters. And if she can't send out postcards, she's not doing the business. So I missed out, on maybe a real potential good leader, that if I would have understood her, why she wants to send out the postcards, if I would have asked her questions, why do you feel you want to start with postcards? Then that would have opened a whole new a frame of mind for me, and perhaps I would be able to help her build a Shackley business. And I lost both of them as customers. Another example is from the different types of thinkings is sometimes when we're working with customers or ambassadors, we may be quick to judge their work or the lack thereof, right? So asking questions will help you evaluate what's happening. And so your ideas may be more tailored to them, like in the story that I just discussed. But here's another story that I want to share with you. I have a wonderful young lady as a distributor. She's actually a sales leader. Her name is Miriam. Miriam is a mother of 4 children. She has a part-time job and is building a Shackley business. She's a wonderful lady, and her target market, and we're going to talk about target market shortly, is young mothers. She wants to help young mothers with ideas and products that can help them thrive, survive, and just get through the day. So she started working on creating a newsletter for her folks. And she was looking for a title, a hook for her newsletters. And so she's been thinking about it, and she called me up and she says, you know, Sarah, I found the name for my newsletters. I got it. I said, what is it? She says, Managing Moms. So I was thinking about the concept of managing moms, the wording managing moms. And I was like, what are you trying to say here? Are you helping moms manage? Are you going to manage moms? Like, what are you going to do with this word? And so she said, yeah, I want to I want to give ideas to moms how to manage. I said, to me, managing moms sounds like you're managing moms, like someone is managing moms, and it doesn't sound right to me. I said, would you be open to me asking AI, yeah, if they would have a good idea of a hook um, for your newsletter? And so here's my conversation with AI. Now, the AI program that I used in this discussion was Cloud.ai. I don't know if it's called Claudia or Cloud, but let's call it Cloud.ai. So here we go. Sarah Stauber asks, I want to get a good hook that captures the attentions of moms trying to manage their life. So now I just want to say something about AI. If you're using AI, introduce yourself to AI. Tell AI who you are and what type of business you have and who your target market is. And so I told AI, so AI tells me, let me help you brainstorm some compelling hooks to reach moms looking for life management solutions. Could you tell me a bit more about what you're creating? Is this for an article, advertisement, social media post, or something else? Also, what specific aspects of life management are you focusing on, like time management, household organization, work-life balance, etc.? This will help me suggest hooks that are both attention-grabbing and relevant for your target audience. So I responded, I would like to use the hook as a name for a newsletter. So Cloud.ai tells me, let me help you brainstorm newsletter names that would resonate with busy moms. Here are some potential hooks that capture both the challenges and aspirations of motherhood. The Balanced Mama, and gives me a reasoning why. The Motherhood Simplified. The Mom's Playbook, Chaos to Calm, Motherhood and Method. And so gave me these 10 ideas. And Miriam chose Chaos to Calm. Now, what happened here is that I was willing to understand Miriam, and Miriam was willing to get recommendations. That is where distinctions in thinking comes in. That when we are open, when we take away the negative types of thinking like right and wrong, judgmental, certainty, and decisions, you have now the opportunity to learn, to aspire, to grow. It is just such an eye-opening experience when you're thinking more of what works, what doesn't, evaluation, clarity, and choices. So I created a document which I sent to Scott. This is only part of the document. I wasn't able to capture a larger part of this. But I would recommend that you take this document once you get it from Scott and download it and think about a story where you had the right and wrong thinking, but then you realize that you'd rather tilt to the right side of what works and what doesn't. Or do you know, have you ever found yourself in a judgment type of thinking versus evaluation and so on and so forth? And if the stories don't come to mind right now, be aware of this and keep it on your desk and get to see where you almost used the wrong thinking and that you were open to the right thinking and that it changed everything for you. So I challenge you to do this homework. Now we're going to move into honing in on your target market, also known as branding yourself. And it basically, to me, it's both the same thing, but target market is a trendy word. Branding yourself is actually also a trendy word. On a recent Mission Possible call, Jeff Hill shared the following quote from Maya Angelou. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing and do them so well that people can't take their eyes off of you. To me, this depicts branding yourself. I'm going to read this again because this is so powerful. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing and do them so well that people can't take their eyes off of you. Do you know how powerful this is? Branding yourself reminds me of my blue Acura MDX car. I never knew there was a blue Acura MDX car until I got one. And once we got one, I saw so many blue Acura MDXs on the road. That's just the way it is. What you see, what is important to you, that's what you see, right? Shackley has over 300 products, maybe now with Palmafere over 1,000. I don't know, it's a jumbo. And so by choosing a target market, you are solidifying this for your prospects. You're clear, your prospects are clear, and the outcome is going to be just amazing. So, branding yourself. Here are a couple of factors we need to know when it comes to branding yourself or choosing your target market. Again, it's almost the same idea. First of all, not everyone is your prospect, and we have to make do with this. We have to understand this. Not everyone is a prospect for me. And so that's number one. Number two is you will attract your perfect prospect, and that's the goal, is to attract your, because you know what? If you're going to try to prospect if you're going to try to prospect somebody who's not really your prospect, they're going to give you grief. And if you're going to attract your perfect prospect, it's going to be like business is just going to flow to you. It's an amazing difference in thinking. So with that said, you need to solve the specific problems of your perfect prospect. We're going to go into what that is. You are perceived as a valuable resource by your prospect. So, whatever you're bringing to the table is actually going to be valued by the right person. In today's day, it's not only about products that can solve a problem, it's also about ideas, encouragement, and support. And so, in an example with Miriam, where she's doing her newsletters, she's not only writing about the products that can give her moms a clean home. It's not only about the products that can give her moms energy. It's also about some tips and ideas to help them get through the day, to help them get through the week, and support and validating mamas that not every day is a perfect day. There are some days that are very hard, and bringing stories to the table. Okay. Now, when you look at Shackley, there are so many different markets and brands that you can be part of. There is weight loss, there is metabolic health, digestive health, hormonal health, women's health, children's health, teenage health, men's health, effective workouts, senior health, menopause, postmenopause, heart health, healthy aging, healthy home, cleansing, home-based business, healthy skin, aging skin, athletes. There are so many different target markets that Shackley has. And especially with a company that has over 300 products, we definitely want to hone in on who we are and who our target market is. I'm repetitious. Shackley has over 300 products. Some people will ask me, so what happens? Will they only buy those products, or are they going to buy other products as well? Like, you feel like, oh, you're really narrowing it down to a couple of products for your target market, and that's it. Well, once they become happy customers, it will be the ambassador's responsibility to educate these customers about other Shackley products that can be helpful to them. Think about a new member orientation. I like to think of my target market statement as my prospecting statement. You ever heard of the idea of an elevator pitch? That's what I look at my target market statement as. Okay, this is a grid, and it probably looks scary to you. This is, by the way, there is some background noise. I can't see who is muted or not, but I would highly recommend that whoever isn't should mute themselves. So here's the deal. This is a grid, and I'm going to teach you about this grid in a minute. And don't worry, Scott has this grid and he will email it, he will put it, I don't know, on the website. He'll tell us soon what he's going to do with it. And so that you can get hold of, there are going to be 4 documents that you're going to get that are related to this call. Okay, so no worries. But this is a grid that I used to help me create my target market statement. And this is what we're going to be talking about now. So step by step on how to create your target market. Choose a market of people who you want to talk to, who you want to do business with. Okay? And ask yourself this question, why? Why is this market important to you? And if you could really think about step number 1 and step number 2, your message will get across so loud and clear to these people because it's coming from your heart. Now, here's the thing what we need to think about. Many times we get involved in Shaklee for a reason. Some people came to Shaklee because they were actually looking for Shaklee. They were looking for answers at Shaklee. Some people came to Shaklee by default, like I did. I had mold stains on my children's clothing. I was looking for answers. Somebody recommended me to try 2 Shaklee products, and that's how I found Shaklee. And then over the years, I'm a Shaklee 36 years, so I really have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas of Shaklee. And I'll give an example. And so, wait, before I give you the example. So what I wanted to say is that we have so many different experiences that sometimes when we're talking to new people, we're not clear on what we're doing and what we're saying. And so to give you this example of, I have a new prospect who's looking at the business. She's so far a member, but she wants to do the business. And so we were talking about grand openings, and she asks me, what am I inviting my folks to? What am I inviting my friends to? And she wants to be in the same target market that I'm in. And so I told her about our target market statement. And she's like, oh, I can do that. Even the invitation is so exciting. Okay, so going back to the grid, even though you don't have the grid in front of you, the grid has some questions and it has some columns. So in the questions, you're gonna be able to fill out some answers that you're going to find in the columns. And I'll explain it to you in this over here. If you see this, let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, let me see if I can make this bigger. So here you have columns, and in this this column we have all the problems that I came about for my target market, and then you have all the fears that are for your target market. What are the fears your target market has? What do they want? What are their wants? What are their dreams? And what is their lingo? So these are things you're going to fill out. And I'm skipping over to this slide for a second because you're going to see that I gave you here a blank grid that's going to help you fill in these questions and these columns. And so let me tell you how I came up with my target market statement. Let Mary Loomis rest in peace. She was the one to encourage me to really think about, and this goes back in the 90s, to think about who are the people that I want to talk to when I do in-home events. And it was young moms. I always had a feel to encourage young moms. I was a young mom myself. Now I'm not such a young mom anymore, but I was then. And so I was always talking to the young moms. And it was so interesting how I gravitated to them, they gravitated to me. And I built a large chunk of my business talking to young mothers. And so now here, it's something that I've been doing for so many years. And I'm still, when I was thinking about my target market, I still came back to realizing that my heart still talks to this generation, I guess, because my daughter's part of that generation and my daughters-in-law. So I see their struggles, and their struggles remind me of my struggles. And I remember that I had answers. And who do they call when they need an answer? They call me. So why not make a business out of it, right? So here's how you will create your target market. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun. My target market statement is I help tired and stressed moms regain their energy and function at their best. Simple, pimple. I help tired and stressed moms regain their energy and function at their best. How did I come up with that? How did I come up with this particular target market statement? Is because when you look on the bottom, fill in the following blanks. Now, it's not blanketed here, it's blanketed on the grid. I help who? Who is the gender or the age group or the demographics? So I help moms. That's the gender, females, young moms who have, what's their problem? What are their fears? What's their problem or their fears? Whatever. So who are tired and stressed. Okay. I help them by regaining their energy so that they can, what benefits will they have when they work with me? They will be able to function at their best. Here comes some. So I know that this is, if you have never heard of this concept, this may be sounding scary. And if you have any questions after the call, I'll stay on a little bit. And also you can email me with any questions, and I'll have time to get on a call with you to help you with your target market. But I'm telling you that if you get yourself a target market statement, it is going to change everything for you. I'm telling you, it's been working for me very well, Baruch Hashem. All right. So one of the homeworks that I had when I was taking my course, I still am, but is to create 10 different target market statements. Now, I'm only going to share with you 6 because the rest were really like just so repetitive. But from these 6, I'll tell you what I did afterwards. But here are just a couple that I'm going to mention. So when I was creating my target market statements, mothers who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and want good energy so that they can raise their children patiently. Or mothers who have growing families that don't get to sleep much, yet want to have enough energy to function well during the day. Or mothers who eat more, sleep less, yet have no energy. I found a product that can give you great energy to help you cope. I help tired and stressed mothers regain their energy and function at their best, even without a full night's sleep. Okay, now I want to tell you something. When I was working on this grid, I was doing it all by myself. I just went into this, shut my phones, took my phone off the hook, put away my tablet, no bothering, locked myself into my office and said, I'm going to work on this. And I did the homework. I then interviewed some mothers with these questions. And then once I was done, and even with my 10 target market statements, I then went to my little secret is I went to ChatGPT. I told ChatGPT, well, ChatGPT at this point knows who I am and what I do and who my target market is. I told them, I want to shorten these target markets. I think I was working off target market, statement number 4. And so it shortened it for me. And now I am a proud representative for women who are tired and stressed and want to regain their energy to function at their best. Okay, I hope this makes sense. If you're asking questions in the chat, I'm not seeing any of that. Okay, so but we'll answer questions soon. So where could you use your target market statement? Where could you use your target market as a whole? Number 1 is on social media, of course. And when you do it on social media, you're going to do your profile is going to be your target market statement, and you're going to do all your posts or most of your posts or circle back to your target market on your posts. Okay. Honor your WhatsApp status. If you do WhatsApp status marketing, that's where you want to do your target market as well. In-home events, you can do in-home events just based on your target market, which means that that's your invitation That's your presentation, and that's the products that you take along of your target market, who you're talking to. Wellness groups. I know master coordinator who does wellness groups based only on her target market. She says, I don't change the wellness group. I changed the people who come on. Okay, newsletters. Your newsletters can be all about your target market, because remember, we're not only selling products, we're also giving ideas and support to our target market. And asking referrals, or like I said before, you can use it as an elevator pitch, but as an elevator pitch, but asking for referrals, like in my case, who do you know, which moms do you know who are tired and stressed and need more energy so they can function at their best? Okay. All right, I think that's it for target market. And now we're going to hop over to creating a rhythm for your business that can create growth in 2025, God willing. So here's the thing. I came across two, I think I missed something on the previous, okay, I don't know. Okay. Why don't we take the necessary actions to grow our business? And here is a phenomenal quote that I read from Adam Grant. Procrastination isn't caused by laziness. We don't postpone tasks to avoid work. We do it to avoid negative emotions that a task stirs up, like anxiety, frustration, confusion, and boredom. I think this is the best description of yours truly up until November. Not at the beginning of my business, but when so many things started going in all directions in my life and in my business, that I realized that I'm going to have to hone in on something. And so what happens is that when you don't know what's coming next, you will not take that step. And sometimes step number 2, if you don't know step number 2, it'll freeze you from step number 1. It's very important to always know which step comes next. I remember, this must have been back in the 90s, when Roland Osterhaus used to come to New York. Jeannie Tavel used to bring him down every quarter. I don't remember how often, but I remember Roland used to say, more people are scared of getting a yes than a no. And how true that is. I'm taking a particular class now, and someone in that class said that she created a post. She had a homework of doing 6 posts in 6 days. And after post number 1, she got so many direct messages that she froze and she didn't know what to do. And our instructor told her and recommended her, excuse me, don't take the initial step if you don't know what step number 2 is going to be. What is the following step going to be? A lot of people do in-home events, but because they don't know what their next step is going to be, excuse me, they don't follow up, excuse me. They don't follow up properly, or they don't close any deals because either they don't know what to do or how to do it, or how to do it best. And so as you are going to get ready for 2025, I want you to think about this part. Now, to get ready for 2025, it's time to ask some questions. First of all, what worked in 2024? What do you know that you did in 2024 that worked really well? Don't stop. Continue doing it. Well, what didn't work in 2024? Think about what did you try in 2024 that you gave it a reasonable try and it didn't work. Be honest with yourself. Write that down. And then finally, what could I do differently in 2025? So let me show you what I did at the end of 2024 which will propel me into 2025, and it's God willing, and then to take on a little bit more in 2025. But while you're doing this, you have to come back and say, go back to the beginning. The questions that I asked in the beginning is, what do you want your goal to be? Because your goals, your actions need to match your goals. Your goals need to match your actions, right? And so make sure that they're synchronized. And then I just want to show you this, that I created a sheet for you. Again, this is only a part of that sheet where you can do this homework that we just spoke about. Okay, so for me, it's working 50 minutes a day, any working day that I choose on my training. This is very important. I paid a lot of money for my training, and in the beginning, I wasn't consistent with it. Even I knew how much I paid for it. But in November, all this took a change, and where I made a decision, 50 minutes a day on working on my training. And you know, that in these couple of weeks, I accomplished more than in the months that I've been in this program because I was focused. 50 minutes working on a carefully chosen program, which, let's say, for instance, preparing for the OPA call, I did it in 50-minute increments, 2 or 3 times a week, until we came up with this information that I wanted to share with you. When you're creating your rhythm, and basically you can think of your rhythm as your business, as knowing the action steps that you're doing in your business. When you are very clear with what you're going to do, you will always know where you left off and where you need to pick up the next day or the day that you're going to return to work. And another activity that I've been doing is 1 outgoing phone call per day. And you know, you can decide what type of phone calls you want to make. You can decide anything that you want to do. What kind of income producing activity will you do on a daily or how many times a week basis? What are you going to learn daily or on every or a few times a week basis? What are you going to do as a leader every day or a couple of times a week? Those are, I think, the 3 key things that we want to do in this business on a regular basis. In 2025, I am going to go from posting 3 times a week to 4 times a week, and then to 5 times a week. I'm also going to do what is called texting, how's it called? Texting marketing. And people who give me permission to text to them, it's only permission, with permission, I'll do those texts between 2 and 4 times a month, and that's starting in January. So that's my rhythm of business. And so when I get into my office, I know what's next. Let's wrap this up. We were talking about 3 important topics tonight. Evaluating your thinking, especially using it going forward in your business. And of course, you've got that homework to do about catching yourself or catching others. Maybe rather catch yourself than catching others. Thinking about your target market, working on your target market. And I've got some documents for you as well on that. And what will your rhythm for 2025 look like? With that said, I'm going to stop the sharing and we can take questions.
Me jumping in. Anybody that wants to ask a question, unmute yourself, which you can do simply by holding down your space bar while you talk.
Okay. So Scott, if there are no questions, I'm assuming I did a great job. And the sheets are, Scott has the sheets. Scott, how are they going to be able to get hold of those sheets?
So by the end of the day tomorrow, this call will be posted at opastuff.org. And right underneath the actual video of this call, they will find the links to each of the documents in downloadable form.
Great.
And Sarah, this is Sue. Sue over.
Can you hear me?
Well,
No?
Sarah, this is Rob Loomis. I just want to thank you for this was a very meaty call and with a lot of good advice, both big picture, but lots of little points. And I think that when people get hold of your outline, which will be available tomorrow night, as Scott says, they're going to have a lot of good takeaways from this. So I just want to thank you for your leadership in presenting this to all of us.
Thank you. Joy's mine.
Yeah, Sarah, this is Ray Madoran.
Hi.
Hey, Sarah, this is a business plan. This is a really, really, really good business plan for people who aren't saying, how do I get started? What do I do? You've given them all of the nuts and bolts of a business plan and how to do this business. Really good information. Thank you, Sarah.
But I'm glad to hear. Thank you. Sure. I think, I mean, honing in on the target market, I think it's a great idea for new people. We've never done it before. I never did it before. Maybe some people did. I never did it before. And I think it's so important because it helps them focus on the right activity and get that. What is it? Somebody asks me, what do I do? What do I tell them? I think it's such a scary thing for people when they're new. They don't know what to say. And so by discussing the target market, by having the target market, it's right on point. Anyway, it was a revelation for me, so I wanted to share it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hey, Shifra. Thank you. Welcome.
Great call. Sometimes we even have in our mind what we're focusing on, but it's not fine-tuned. Like this is really powerful and encouraging for me to fine-tune my target market, not just thinking about it, just having it written out so it just slips off your tongue easily. That's number one. And number two, I also find that when you've been in Shackley for a long time, the story changes. Like Sarah said, we were young moms when we started, and I had my nursing story, how I was successful as a new mom with a Shackley product. Now, life changes, where my friends are not nursing anymore. Like we have to kind of have that new target market so we have something fun to talk about. So it's a real eye opener, and I really appreciate. You can see that you invested a lot of time to prepare this call, and it's really appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Shifra. And looking at your skin, I know what your target market is.
Thank you.
Shifra's going to have a great target market statement very soon. Right, Shifra?
Yeah, my upline is encouraging.
Anyway, it'd be nice to come back to the next OPA call. I know Shifra's going to be hosting that call. It's perhaps, Shifra, maybe you want to, we can take this a step further and say, how about if whoever was on the call or whoever wants to teach it, or if you want me to go into it a little bit deeper, is to come back next month and say, here are some target market statements that we were able to come up with, and to support the target market statement. The support is, what are the products that you are going to attach to your target market? That's also very important. It's just the next step, and it's just hard to do everything in a 1 hour call. So I decided not to do that. But if you want, we can do that next month also, to say what are the products that we're attaching to our target market. So if
that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I know that Jennifer Glacken is very successful with her target market is lowering cholesterol, and she's having tremendous results and bringing on a lot of people on board for her business. From when she started teaching her target market to her group, I think within a year, created 20 or 25,000 QOV of business. Now that's huge because it's not she herself, it's her group as well. I think that's wow.
Powerful.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions? All right, I'm going to a wedding tonight, so bye everyone. See you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
People are getting married this late at night?
Our weddings start in the evening. In our culture, our weddings start in the evening and they finish about midnight, or sometimes 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, wait. So it's 9:30. So the wedding will start at 10 and it'll be
No,
over at
no, the
midnight?
wedding, no, the wedding started probably at 6:30, and now it's dancing time.
Oh, so you can show up late.
And show up late, yeah. And I have to travel for a half hour to this wedding. Anyway, yeah, we have a very interesting lifestyle, but we love it. Anyway, take care, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye. Good night. Thanks.